There we go. Okay. We're
Alrighty.
yeah.
Hello.
Good
Hi,
morning,
everybody. Happy Friday.
Friday. So we're going to be talking about sexual energy.
Yeah, what is it? We all have it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
We
What
do.
is it? Why do we have it? Why do we need it? Um, how
The
to
negative
protect
side.
it,
Yeah, the negative side of
the
it. Yes.
negative side,
Mm-hmm.
energetic cords that get creative.
Right.
Then not all are bad, and we'll talk about that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. It's going to be a good topic.
Yeah, and why it's important to who you let touch you
Mm-hmm.
and come within your field. Because some people don't think about it.
Right. And using that word, so come, come into
Yeah.
your
That
energy.
was that was unintentional. Unintentional.
But I
All
got
right, you guys. Yeah. All right, that's what we're
something.
talking about today.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Yes. 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 And we're off.
Yeah, promo done.
Promo done.
Okay,
Let's get
guys, we're
started on this
sorry.
because this is a good topic. I don't think I've heard anyone talk about it before.
I don't think so either. I mean,
But
we talk about the different, aspects of femininity and masculinity, and I don't think people are talking about it
right,
enough and realizing, like we said in the promo, that connection that gets
right,
created,
hmm
whether you realize it or not,
right, right.
because it's
Oh,
my
here we
close up.
go.
Here we
Even
go.
even after a breakup, it doesn't matter whether it's a good breakup or a bad breakup. You still have a connection if you're intimate with that person. And I don't think
Exactly.
a lot of people realize that connection is still there and it could still interfere on your next relationship. So I think this is a good topic.
Yeah, it really is. So what is sexual energy? It's a life force, right? Because when two people come together, can create life.
Right.
It is the ultimate creative energy.
hmm It is. It's
And
powerful. It's mighty.
yes, and
And
many spiritual traditions recognize it as such, as a huge creative force.
right. And it's able to
Um,
be used in a positive way.
Yeah, and also using the orgasm, the orgasmic energy
hmm
during it can also help your body as well.
It's a good release in many ways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's also a practice. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's called ankhing,
hmm
like the ankh, like the Egyptian ankh up
Yeah.
and around. It's when you're actually climaxing, you think about looping that energy back into your heart center.
Right. Right.
And I got a close up on that.
You sure did.
The
Well,
camera's like, this is important.
that's why those chakras, those energy centers are connected. The heart, the sacral, even well, the solar too. But I mean,
Right.
those are the ones that are connected when we talk about sexual energy.
Hmm.
Obviously, the third eye is also some people could tap into that as well, but it's mostly those three, the sacral, the solar, and the heart that are
Yeah.
connected. And people don't realize that. People don't
No,
realize that. So,
no, not unless you had a knowledge of the chakra system or you were in some sort of healing art or studied or, were curious about it,
mhm,
something like
yeah.
that. But I
And
don't
it
think the
does.
average person,
No,
walking
but
through Walmart is
yeah,
aware.
right. But unless you're able to tap in and you're able to see energetically the aura and so forth, because I know that I had a dream about a client, a male, and he was coming for a session the next day. So I kind of prepped the day before and kind of like try and tap in, meditate on it. And when I saw him, I actually saw him in a dream. And in that
Mm.
dream, his sacral was outside his body. It was I've never seen that before. I mean, it was instead of it being a flowing energy center, it literally was it was his whole outside his body.
So was he hoeing around, so
Yeah,
to speak.
he was a cheater, but he didn't know that I knew that. I
Oh,
did, and
oh,
I didn't know anything about him. I was just, like I
interesting.
said, I try and tap in. Um, I was kind of curious as to why this man is a professional. I was kind of like, why is he coming here? Is he just kind of testing to see what I do? How does Reiki work? And like I said, I had a dream, and outside I could see it. So when he came to see me, you just kind of pick up those vibes when you're doing
Right.
energy work. And he was married, is married. And I said, there's something going on in the sacral. And there's a lot of energy there, and it's outside your body. And it's basically out of control, is I think is the word I used. And over a few more sessions, then he did say to me that, I'm married, but I have a few other friends. And I
Oh
just think that
boy.
this is just not good for me. And I said, no, it's not. Just no, it's not. So I don't know. I don't ever know what happened, because that pretty much ended that whole thing. He never came back around. And I think it was just because I tapped into that. But
Right. Yeah, people feel, vulnerable.
hmm
Maybe they don't want
right.
their
hmm
dirty laundry. But when you're going to a healer for energy work,
right.
we are going to pick up on
Yeah.
stuff.
And I did. And I think he was taken back by it.
Yeah,
But I
as
tapped.
anybody probably
Right.
would.
But I mean, that orange was just, it was like a fire. I still, I could see it still. And it was just, I've never experienced anything like that with,
Wow.
in a dream of having about this person. So hopefully the session and what I picked up was, he took it as a lesson and, fixed it. I did work with him for a few more,
Right.
he came around, but he wasn't doing any more sessions, and then I never saw him again. So
Mm.
I basically think that he just kind of came to poke around a little bit. And then when I picked up on that, he wasn't like, how would I know that? I think is where he was questioning.
Yeah, and he's going to tell my wife.
Yeah, no, that's not my
That's
business.
not, no,
But
we would never do that. That would be completely unethical.
right. But
So,
I think it's
it's not our
possible.
business.
No, but if you could see that, then you would see where people are at. I mean, it's too bad that we couldn't see that with people. I think that there's some people who are gifted that they could
Right.
see
They
those.
can.
Right. But yeah, so it's definitely, it shows up is the point
Right.
I'm trying to make
Right.
energetically.
Yeah. For me, I can't see it like normally everyday life, but if I want to and tap into it,
Mhm.
then I can,
Right.
probably just like you.
Right. So
Um,
those,
but we don't
people,
walk around with an open channel
no,
24/7.
no,
That we'd be going crazy.
right. No, and no, who wants that?
No,
But
we've
but that
got
but
human stuff to do.
right, but the sexual energy is real, and it
Hmm.
is something that people could pick up on, and it can
Yeah.
hold you back from a new relationship if you don't close that door, so to speak. So
Yeah.
there's a lot involved that people don't
Yeah,
realize.
it's incredibly powerful. It
Mhm.
creates those energetic bonds, like we said, whether you know it or not. And then you can absorb those, especially if you're empathic, you're going to absorb the energy, maybe the wounds and the trauma, especially if the encounter was not consensual.
Exactly.
That's a whole nother topic.
Right, right.
Now
Yeah.
that would create a trauma bond,
hmm
I
And
believe.
they're real, and those trauma bonds
Absolutely.
are real, and and a lot of them are sexual. It's not just abuse with the hitting or the verbal, but it is also in a sexual way, because there's a lot of people manipulating their spouses, their boyfriend, girlfriend, whomever they are with. But that people just don't realize it. And even when we decided to talk about this topic today, it made me sit back and think about some of the clients that I've had, and how it's real. This is real, and it can affect you. And if you do not resolve any issues that you've had with the past person that you were intimate with, it will carry on to the next.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's it's just if you don't get that taken care of, if you've had some trauma in the past, I would definitely get some cord cutting
Hmm.
done by, especially if it's extremely traumatic,
Right.
if maybe there was violence involved and things like that, I would probably go to a professional
Right.
myself. But we're going to give you some tips and stuff that you can just cut cords,
Yeah,
cut
and even
those.
if it wasn't traumatic, it's just sometimes you just got to cut that cord with that
Yeah.
individual. It could have ended in the best way, but yet there's still that sexual connection with the cord being attached, so to speak. But that needs to be cut so that you could end it and that relationship is no longer present in any way, shape, or form.
Hmm.
So yeah, and you
Yeah.
can do it yourself, but in some instances you might want to go to a Reiki practitioner or whomever, energy work,
Right.
whatever you want to call it, and
Yeah.
have them assist you.
Yeah. So, especially if you're feeling weird after a sexual encounter, like if you feel drained or just not yourself, they could be, this sounds gross, but like feeding off your energy.
Hmm.
So they fed off your energy and your sexual energy, and now you feel um, exhausted, maybe heavy, emotionally drained.
Right.
So, be aware, be aware. Even though it could have been, a great time, then you're going to have to ask yourself more questions. Well, why do I feel like this after this person? And you might want to examine that person a little bit
Right.
more
Yeah.
thoroughly.
Hmm.
I mean, for realsies, guys.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you're in love, and some people could, maybe this is a good way of comparing the feelings and thoughts, is that when you fall in love with someone, we all know that feeling. It makes you feel good. You don't want to eat. You feel real good. You look real good. You take better care of yourself. All of those things. And when those things start, so that's a feeling that you get from the energy of being with someone in a sexual, intimate way. And then when it goes bad, you go the opposite. And those feelings are there. I mean, where do they come from? Am I making any sense? I don't
Yeah.
want to get graphic. That's what I'm trying to watch
Yeah.
it, how I
Yeah.
do it.
We don't want to get banned on
Yeah.
YouTube.
But you know what I mean? If you've got that feeling when things are good, and all of a sudden you got the opposite when it's bad, that's a heads up right there. That's a
Yeah.
red flag.
That's a huge red
Oh,
flag. And then pay attention to the red flags. Don't dismiss it.
mm-mm.
We do that to ourselves all the time. We gaslight ourselves. Oh no, you're just being silly.
Right.
He's great or she's wonderful. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so it's important to choose your partners wisely,
Mhm. Yeah.
because like as we said, not every connection, or I hate the word attachment, but energetic cord bond isn't always bad. You could have an energetic cord with your child or your healthy life partner,
Mhm.
where you have a mutually respected relationship with one another. Healthy bonds with your animals. You can have cords with your animals as well.
And I think people should look up what we're talking about when we're talking about cords. And those are energetic cords. They're not,
Yeah, we don't have a piece of string
no, you don't have
dangling
any
out our butts.
hanging out of your vagina or whatever. But they are energetic cords. And some of them can be real thin and some of them can be real thick. And those are the ones that are the hardest to get rid of because those are the ones that have developed over time. And even when you're not with that person, but you continuously think about them, that cord just reattached.
Yeah, you just reinforce that bond.
And it's just so I think that people need to be aware of that as well. Where I am not saying don't ever think about that person or don't send them well wishes or so forth. Those kinds of things.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that you gotta when if you had a bad relationship and you've cut some cords, if it were me, I'd be thinking, okay, I'm going to shield myself. I'm going to protect myself. I don't want this cord to be reattached, but I want to send this person well wishes. I wish
Right.
them well. I send them much love, much healing, whatever you want to do. But you need to shield and protect yourself first and make sure that that cord does not get reattached. And maybe you might want to do a little cutting of cord ritual if you think that maybe it did. This is more for people who continuously think about the person. They go onto their social media or they're
Hmm.
having a friend do some investigate, that kind of stuff. That stuff is all coming back around. You
Yes.
want to reattach to that cord to be reattached again. That's my
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So what would you suggest that people do for cord cutting?
So for me, I know in the work that I did, this is just what I think. This is the way that I work, just my thoughts, my opinions. But whenever I helped anybody with any cutting of cords, I like to use a black kyanite. Black kind of sharp. Even when you pick it up, it's kind of sharp. I remember having it in the store in the glass case because I didn't want anybody picking it up and handling it because you can get a little cut from it. And so I used black kyanite. I used that for cutting cords. It's just an energetic, you visualize the cord being attached, and we would say a little prayer. We would ask for some protection, and then we would cut that cord. But like whenever you're, filling in a hole energetically, it's the same thing. You've got to put some light back into that area.
Mhm.
So that's the way that I worked. So the black kyanite basically was kind of used as a sword, so to speak. A lot of people will use Archangel Michael and ask Archangel Michael to come in with his mighty sword and cut that cord. So it just depends on how you want to work. Those are the two aspects that I worked with Archangel Michael and the crystals, the black kyanite. That's what I did. And then I would go over it again with some selenite. I also liked using stibnite too, because stibnite is a good stone for working with getting rid of entities. So
Mm.
sometimes, you've got a cord that's attached, but what kind of person is that you are with? Is it someone that was in the darker arts, in the occult? So I would use some stibnite for that because you want those entities cut away as well with that cord.
Do you know how to spell that? I haven't heard of that. I have cyan, I have black
Oh no,
kyanite for.
the stibnite. It's SISTITB something. I don't. I could look it up, but
Sti
it's stibnite. Um,
Stib.
night. Uh-huh.
Okay,
And
Stib. I'll put that in the description, guys. I'll write the crystals that we're talking about.
I'll look it up and send you it. But so I ordered a huge piece. I mean, it's about probably like this big and about this wide. It's pretty, and it took me probably I would hold it for a little bit and it would make me nauseous.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it came with a warning, to be careful using it because it's one of those stones that it's kind of like a moldavite. When you have a moldavite, sometimes people get a little weird with it or act a little weird. The stibnite kind of worked in that way, and so for a week I would just hold it, and and it doesn't need to be cleared. I mean, it's a pretty mighty stone. Um, and it's just powerful. And I have not seen another piece like mine, a big one like mine. And I would just use it over the body. But it's one of those real powerful stones. Like when you have it in your hand, you could literally feel its energy. And it's
Wow.
like a gray color. Yeah, it's a mighty stone. So I like using that. I had a few pieces at the shop, not as big as mine, and I got mine probably over 20 years ago, and it was expensive then, and now it's really
Oh,
expensive.
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, so,
Everything's
but
gone up,
I'll
so.
look it up. I'll look it up and send it to you, and then you could attach it to.
Okay. Yeah, I will. I'll throw the kyanite, the selenite, and the stibnite in the description. So if anybody wants to check that out,
Like the
um,
like the
they
selenite
can.
comes in a wand shape, so you could just go over the body. You
Hmm.
that kind of way. The black kyanite. Some of them are not very big, but I mean big enough to do the job. And then the stibnite, I'm good luck finding something like that. And I mean I mean because I tried to find some big pieces for the shop and I didn't have much luck.
Huh. Well, you can always get black kyanite, that I know. So,
Black
and
kyanite,
selenite, it's easy
yeah,
peasy.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah, those are things that I use. Those are tools that I used.
you can also use a candle.
Yeah.
I've seen candle rituals where you use two pillars,
Mhm.
especially if it's a really deep energetic bond,
Mhm.
and you tie like a natural string or twine around each one and light them, and then you set your intention, and I'll put a little something down there for you
Yeah, that will
if you
help.
want to check that out. A little candle ritual, we'll call it. We won't say spell.
Well, and also too, there's the male and the female candles. Is that what you're
Yes.
talking about? Or are you just talking
Yeah.
about the regular pillars?
You can use regular pillars.
Okay.
You one representing you, one representing them. I've seen black, I've seen white, I've seen purple. Just,
I've seen
you
those.
know, so
Yeah,
um,
those are good ways to go with it too.
because you can put your attention on each candle anyways. This is for Brad. This is for me, Mary, and Brad's energy has got to go. So,
And you can anoint that. You can anoint the
yeah,
candle
with
with some
oils.
oil, and
Hmm.
there's a lot of good protection oils out there that you could use.
Can you
But
name a
also,
few for them?
yeah, but also this to me is probably the most powerful part about it. Other side, cutting the cord is also very powerful. But when you cut a cord, you want to wish them well. You don't want to send any
Right.
energy to them. They might have been the biggest dick on the planet, but you don't want to be like that. So
No.
you want to put them in the light for the light, send them to the healing room, whatever you want to do, but you got to send them on their way in a nice way, not in a negative way, because that just comes right back on you.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah, so a lot of times I've told people I've prayed for that person when they were like just the biggest dick, and I'm like, no, I don't want to be like them. So yeah, sometimes I'm like, okay, God, I don't really like this person. I really don't want to pray for him, but I'm going to because it's the right thing to do because I do want them to get better and be.
Right.
So
Yeah.
always, whenever you're doing this kind of work, you send the other person, put them in the light, you wish them well, have no ill intent towards them and make sure that I think that that's to me it has been a powerful tool in my spiritual toolbox to always wish somebody well, even when they
Right.
hurt you or
Yeah.
did you dirty, what have you. But you just always make sure you do that.
Yeah. And it can be extremely healing for you too to do that. They say
Wanna-
forgiveness is for the person, not for, the one wronged,
Right.
not for the
Well, you
one
don't want to
doing
lower
the
yourself to
deed.
their level. So,
No, you're better than that.
right. So it's always better just to wish them well. And I think that it's right. You're absolutely right. That's a good healing for you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for yourself.
Right. Right.
That's how you look at that. And then also there's guided meditations out there too.
Mhm.
All free stuff on YouTube that you could do a guided meditation. They'll take you through a relaxation and some imagery, or if you're not a good, visualizer, you can hear it or feel it. There's other ways around that. And then energetically help you visualize.
Yeah.
There's usually a few that that are there that it's
Yeah.
time that they need to go. So I would do one at a time to concentrate. You're not just going to lop them all off in one fell swoop. I mean, you could try, but I would concentrate on the biggies.
I would just take my time with it. Another
Hmm.
good thing that I would tell my clients is, you write the letters. You write the letter of like when you met the person, that feeling that they gave you. Then you write the letter like in the middle of the relationship where, okay, he was a good or he or she, whomever was a good person. I fell for them, blah, 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 blah. And this is when it started to go downhill and you acknowledge it and you take responsibility for some of it, if anything. And then
Right.
the last letter is like, okay, this is what you've done to me, and now I'm telling you goodbye. So
Yeah.
you acknowledge the whole beginning to end because there's a reason why you fell for this person.
Yeah.
They might not have been all bad. Maybe they were. I don't know. Maybe you just need to find somebody better and think more of yourself than to go lower. But there's always writing that letter of why you fell for them, the good qualities about them, and then what they've done, and then goodbye.
Yeah. I would burn everything too,
Yeah, and
honestly.
that's what I was going to say. Afterwards, you burn it. You,
Yeah.
you wish them well, and then you burn it and you let it go.
Into the wind or down the toilet.
Well, it's pretty. It's interesting when someone's writing a letter about someone they can't stand because then you go back and you think about the good that you saw in them.
Hmm.
And it's too bad that they can't see the good that they once had. why did they turn out this way? What was going on with them? There's always,
Yeah. There's always
and
there's always a reason.
yeah,
They've obviously have their own trauma that they haven't got the help and
exactly.
worked through yet.
And some people are just
So
horrible. There's just no getting around it. Some people are just real shitty and
some
don't.
people are awful, terrible people.
But writing those letters and reminding yourself that it's not your fault you fell for this person. They were good at one time, then they turned into a shitty person.
Yeah.
Let it go.
But there's also amazing people out there too.
There
We
is.
don't want to concentrate on, all the negative sides of cord attachment. There are amazing, wonderful partners out there. So if you're still looking around, you just, you know, be selective, be choosy. This is your life creative force.
Right,
You just don't want to
to somebody.
give it away willy-nilly.
Right, right. So that's just some things that I've done in the past for
Yeah.
people, help for them, and it does help. It really does help. So,
Yeah, hopefully we've given you guys something to think about.
and we'll list those stones, and I'll send that information to you because
Yes.
yeah, there's some good. There's some. I'm sure that there's other.
There's stones and the spell.
Yeah,
Write it down because I'm old and I forget.
but there's
I have
other.
lists
Yeah.
everywhere.
So I know I remember someone who came in the store and there were a group of little older witches and someone broke up with someone finally. I guess he was just horrible and she took years to get rid of him. They were all happy. They literally had a funeral for this person.
That's amazing.
It is great. So she brought her little girlfriend, older girlfriends in, and they literally took him and buried all of whatever shit he had at her house, and they put it in the ground and said, "You are gone." And I just thought, so it was more of a visual, and
Yes.
she had the support of her friends.
Hmm.
There's so many different ways that you could get rid of something.
Yes, yes. You be creative. Invite your friends over.
So I mean, it does help to have some support of some people, so that way you don't reach out to
Yeah.
the person anymore. You reach out to your friend who's supporting you. So, but not everybody's bad. Just some relationships are just
Yeah.
lessons to be
Yeah.
learned. You learn a
Hmm.
lesson, you move on. In the next relationship, you know what
Yep.
you don't want.
Yep. Don't beat yourself up about it. We've all done it.
Right.
So
So yeah,
just be aware, not to be fearful either,
right, right.
but for awareness and protect yourself as well.
But if you feel that there's a red flag in your tummy, you listen to it because
Yeah.
that's when,
Get the hell out of there.
yeah, and don't worry about hurting someone's feelings because
No.
so, but there's a lot of things you could do. That's just a
Yeah.
few.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Until you find the right person, and you will.
Yeah. And you will.
A little
If
bit
that's
more.
what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's what you want.
So,
All righty.
thank you.
I think that's it for us.
Yeah, that was
Let's,
good. That was a good
yeah.
topic. I like that one.
Yeah. Unless you have anything to add, Ange.
Nope, that's it. That's pretty much it.
All righty. That will do us for us.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Have a good
It's
weekend.
going to
Thank you.
be June next time we talk to you.
Already. Can you believe it?
I know. So, all
Have a good
right.
weekend. Thank you,
All right,
guys.
guys.
All
See
righty.
you later.
Thanks. Have a good one.